Overthinkers podcast.
Hello and welcome to Emma's Universe podcast. Yippee-ki-yay. Oh my goodness gracious. I know. Can I help myself? What can I say? So it's a Monday. Oh, and on a beautiful Monday, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the art of letting life unfold. Not uphold, but unfold. Yes. Because this is one for the dreamers, the planners, the overthinkers, for all of us who try so hard to make life happen our way. Because sometimes, no matter how carefully we plan, life has other ideas. And how many times, I'm going to say that, have you or have we thought that that path will be right on in front of us, and then curve after curve after curve, the direction and our goals and what we wanted to do and how we want to do it shifted. Yes. So maybe that's not a problem. Maybe that's grace. We live in a world that celebrates control. We are taught to set goals, chase dreams, and hold tightly to our vision like there is no tomorrow, like life depends on it. But in doing so, we often forget that not everything is meant to be forced. I know, been there, done that. Some things are meant to flow. Go with the flow. Think about a river, how it unwinds and bends, never questioning where it's going. It doesn't fight the rocks or resist the turns. It simply keeps moving, trusting that every obstacle is shaping its path. When we cling too tightly, we miss the beauty of what's trying to emerge naturally. And how often have I done that? Seriously, guys. We cannot put the blinder and say, oh, that doesn't happen to me. Yes, he did. It did to me, it did to everybody else's at some degree. One maybe could have been a job you wanted and you tried so hard. At the end, you did not got the job, did not got the promotion, the recognition, the awards, whatever your goal was. Or even the person. You were chasing after somebody. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female, by the way. Just letting you know, because chase happens both ways. But for a reason, you go chase after that individual. And at the end of the day, nothing happened. At all. That individual is not interested in all of you, but interested in somebody else's. And boom, this happened. So let's talk about the illusions of control. I know it's not a Debbie Downer podcast, okay? But it's a reality one. I know it's hard for people to, and I've been there, okay? Done that. To put my head in the sand because I didn't want it to see anything, and I ignored it, and I thought, by ignoring it and make it invisible, it will disappear. It doesn't, actually. It doesn't disappear at all. You stay where it is until you finally are ready to see what it is, to see for the truth it is, and modify the patterns. Okay? And yes, sometimes it bites because we think that maybe the job we wanted was the one that was the dream job, and at the end of the day, it wasn't the dream job because something came along that is more suitable for us, and we are able to flourish and be happy and grow and expand ourselves and do whatever we wanted to do. But being happy and realizing that, thank God, I was chasing something that wasn't meant for me, and I realize now that what I'm facing right now, what I'm living right now, is what it's meant to be for me. So let's talk about the illusion of control, because control gives us the illusion of safety. It always does. It tells us that if we plan enough, if we work hard enough, if we prepare for every single scenario, we can prevent pain or uncertainty, which is a big, fat lie. It is the illusion of the ego world, of the main consciousness that wants us to believe and what was said, groomed us to believe in that delulu. It is a big freaking delulu. It is. But control is a fragile comfort. Have you ever noticed that the moment that truly shaped our lives, the people we met, the opportunities that appear, the lesson we learned, rarely follow the plan? Have you ever noticed that? Because I do. Example, when my house burned down, it wasn't a plan. I wanted to sell. See, here's the typical situation. And I released it that night. That evening when I was talking with the universe, I gave them a plan. And it was, I'm going to sell the house next year, buy a home, not a condo, but a home, sell the condo, blah, 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 next year. I had a plan. I shared it with the universe, okay? I did not went and try to do something. I sat down and said, here's the plan. What do you think? Well, what do you think 6 hours later, the condo burned down? That was the answer. Was it part of the plan? Heck no, it wasn't part of the plan. But the universe, aka God, had a different plan that will pan out better than it's supposed to be by burning it down. Let's crack it down. What's the deal? So you go with the flow. From there, you have to figure out a lot of things along the way to be where, 2 years later, where I'm at. But it's been very interesting when you're not trying to control everything. And that was the plan. My game plan, I laid out a plan, have the universe, have a conversation with the universe. The answer from the universe was, let's burn down the condo. That sounds a better plan. That's a better plan for you to have. But the truth is we can't control life timing. Again, I got it in my face. And I've noticed that and when the plans change, when things are changing and do not flow into the direction you think it's going to go, then you have to become flexible. This is where you really realize that I'm in partnership with God. So whatever is going to happen, there is a reason. There is a master plan. I don't have the bird's eye view. God does. My higher self does, so I'm going to go and talk with my higher self, but I'm going to trust the process that if things are changing, then I'm going to, even if I don't like it, okay? Burning down the condo wasn't something I liked at the beginning at all. I'm like, what the crap? Well, it helps. If you need to move, there is nothing else to move. Like, the majority, like let's say 90% of the stuff was ruined. So that makes it easier if you need to move. Now you're saving on moving, but when you are following the plan that is not the master plan, not your plan, the master plan, and really adapt to the situation, then you're going through the process of where you need to be. But again, you need to relinquish that control. That control is not going to help you. Exactly. So when things are changing, like mine for the fire, these arrived unannounced, unplanned, unpredicted. I knew there was a problem, and I knew it because the universe gave me the message last summer. There was a problem with the chimney. I knew it. Now, I was informed of it. I had no idea to the extent of the fire. Again, I never went and visited. I know my flue was clean, so that wasn't my flue issue. But when things arrive and become unannounced, this is where the truth, we can control life timing. And this is so true. We can only align with it. And that's what I've done. I align myself to, after the fire, what are you going to do? You're going to align with the plan to bring you where you need to be. There is peace in remembering that the universe moves with purpose. Sometimes, like I said, we don't have the bird's eye view. Most of the time. We have an idea, but the universe has it, even when we can't yet see the design, and that's okay. This is why control is an issue, because a lot of people are clinging to the control, thinking I can predict everything. When I worked on projects, I always have a plan A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. I already have something that I already anticipate things gonna go sideways. Some of the plan, it always does. People's patterns, situation with the project, delays. You don't plan how to resolve everything, but you have an idea of how you're going to be able to move through that challenge, like the water. And this is what I do. I am not planning, I'm letting it go through it. This is what the waterfall and the agile. Agile is more flexible because you work within sprint. Sprint, for people who don't know, it's like you got a project and you're going to split it into small milestones, which we call sprint, and you got your backlog. So your backlog is a list of what to do or what needs to be done, and then you move them into sprint. But you need to understand when you're doing in Agile, it's the same with life, actually. It's replicating what we do in life, meaning I have an idea, I have a goal. Okay, my goal is, let's say that, hypothetically, getting signed contracts or starting a business. Then you do your groceries list of what needs to be done, and as you move forward on creating your company, doing what you got to do, then you're going to see things that you had in your list that's going to be changed slightly as you move along. It's the same with a plan, it's the same with a project, it's the same with our lives. We adapt to the circumstances where we are in order to get to the goal, which the goal is already preset. So, in the case of your house burning down, well, it's to rebuild and move in back to your house. That's what the goal is. Or you have another solution that could be sell the house, buy another one. But you have a plan, you have a goal, and that's what it is. So you have to make peace with the uncertainty, with the direction. And again, like Sonia Choquette said, trust the process, trust God, trust yourself. Trust everything in between. When you are at peace with that, then you flow better. Even if you don't see the next step, do the step you're supposed to do and go to the next one. 2023 was to me one of the biggest life lessons that I passed, meaning everything that brought me up to 2023 was to me the training part of it. The big test was in 2023, the dark night of the soul. And going through everything, like my entire world, from my personal to my professional, collapsed, literally collapsed. It's not only arising from the ashes, but it's being able to, instead of seeing the big picture that could be overwhelming and say, oh my God, I owe this to this, to that, and to do this, and to blah, blah, blah. You focus only what you got to do, what is your next step. And based on the next step, actually, things are moving into the direction it's supposed to be. Most people will see the bigger picture, get overwhelmed. Your brain's not going to be able to, the brain will shut you down, actually, because it's too overwhelming. You do not want to see the bigger picture. What you see is what is next. What do I need to do? And when you do those steps, then things start to unravel and unfold for you to make the decision where you're supposed to be. Again, you're creating your future in a present moment. Nothing is set in stone at all. So you need to understand that. When you understand that, then you're able to move in a more fluid way. Now let's talk about surrender, because after you understand the illusion of the control, it's just an illusion. Control is an illusion. It's something that always creates more headache and nightmare to your own self than anything else. It is not serving you at all. Have you ever noticed people who are overly controlling, and when they lose control, they go nuts? That's about what you see. So relinquish the control. Going with the flow is not accepting everything that comes your way, letting life taking, left and right. Going with the flow is adapting yourself to the current where you're in to pass all of those obstacles and challenges. This is what it is. It's adapting ourselves to make the right changes in our life to move forward. That's what, in my view, in the God's universe view right now, because again, I'm channeling God right now, so I'm channeling messages. So this is what it is. Now let's talk about the surrender, because one of the biggest things is surrendering. Surrendering isn't about give up. It has nothing to do with giving up. If I give up, I will give up. Surrender is not. It's about letting go of what the need to know. And that's what is so important, actually, when people are looking at moving forward instead of over controlling everything, is work on the next step. It's not the overall picture. Set up your goals and work on your next step, because as you work on your next step, the path is unfolding on the front of you. That bridge, you're on the edge of a cliff. And your next step is to have faith, to put your feet into the unknown, which looks like you're going to fall into the abyss, which is not true. When you start to do that, then you realize, I'm on solid ground. And you go to the next step, which is going to get you further into that bridge. This is what we're talking about. So you need to understand that I am not, I'm letting go of knowing everything, because I'm just moving one step at a time. I'm not saying I don't have all of the answer. I'm not saying I got all of the answer. I am saying I don't have all of the answer right now, but I trust that I'll come as I'm moving forward, which makes sense if you think about it. If we're on that big chase that is our lives and we're moving, then one step will trigger the unfolding of what's coming up next. It is not a set stone path. This is the advantage we've got here, is nothing is set in stone. We can change and move into the direction that is needed. If we were not, then we'll be in big doo-doo. I'm telling you right now, I will give up and say, people, I need to go back over there on the other side. I'm done, because that game is rigged. That game is not rigged, because you get your own free will. So that means you can go left, right, middle, center, backward, forward, whatever makes sideways, whatever makes you happy. Okay? So that's the understanding of that I'm moving forward. Every answer, everything that I need to make the next step will unfold. And it's allowing life to breathe again. When we surrender, something inside of us softens. We don't have to cling to dear life like we have a tendency to do, or thinking that, like the caveman, there's a dinosaur going to go after me and chase me and eat me. No. When we surrender, we stop fighting against what is and begin flowing with what wants to be. There is a difference between what is and opening is changing our perspective. Actually, it's changing the perspective of this is what it is to possibilities, every possibilities. I am telling you, for what I've gone through for the past 2 years, I have seen things coming and materialize out of the blue. It has been amazing when your expectation is things are moving forward. And you're not planning on everything, but you let the universe bring you those opportunities as you're moving forward, as you're surrounding the need of control. That's when magic happens. Seriously, we begin to notice synchronicities, small signs that we're exactly where we need to be. The right people appear, right opportunities align, even delay starts to make sense. It does. Surrender invites grace back into the conversation. And it is so powerful to surrender, because this is where you give the keys to heaven. This is where the keys to heaven come to your hands, literally, or to the seventh plane, because heaven is below, but the seventh plane is right there. It is where actually you understand that I'm giving the room for God, for the universe to drive me, to bring me to where I need to be. I give the room. Dr. Joseph Murphy said we're our worst own enemies. I always remember when I was reading the book, I'm like, yeah, you're freaking right, bro. This is exactly what it is. And I had a lot of respect for him. Too bad he passed away at the beginning in 1980s, and he was a very early gentleman, traveled around the world doing lecturing and stuff like that. That was amazing. Same with the Carl Jung of the world. But he said it. We don't give ourselves the room for the universe to bring us to where we need to be. We want to control everything, every single step. We are screwing ourselves up. Because what we think we need, the universe, when you don't have the bird's eye view on everything, you're in the trenches. You don't see the big moves at all. It's when you elevate yourself and put yourself at the same level of God, when you're seeing it from the seventh plane, and you're like, holy crap, okay, I can see where I'm struggling here, because I'm not seeing the other opportunity or what the chess board that is our lives is showing me. And you realize that if I go with the flow, if I stop to fight, if I stop to control, and give that space between my wishes, between my thoughts, my goals, and the how, if I leave the how to God and let it work its magic, this is where it makes such a huge difference. It's when you let God work his magic, you are not going to believe how easier it is that things fall into perfect synchronicity. From the people who you may be going to get a job, maybe get a contract, and maybe it's for 30 days, and they're going to extend the contract, continue to extend it, give you more work, to the place where you're looking at somebody is going to decide to give you money out of the blue and say, okay, here's some money, I feel like I'll give you a car, I'll give you a home. You never know. Instead of controlling and say, I want a home, blah, 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 and say, well, just so I say it, pay cash. Just see the end of it, not the how. And let the magic of the universe do its work. That's what is so important and people are missing in it. Now, here's about something that is so interesting. Trusting the unknown. And I've been talking the unknown since the beginning of this one and for several podcasts. The unknown is not our enemy. And a lot of people see it as the enemy. It is not. It is our greatest teacher, actually. It is where we grow. This is where growth lives, where possibility is born. The magic doesn't happen when we try to control everything. It happens in the unknown because we see how it works. I have seen it firsthand, and as I said, 2023 was for me to pass the biggest test and see if through those decades of life, finally was like, okay, this is your final test. You pass or you fail. But we're going to give you the rinse and spin and rinse again. But this one is the final one. Did you got it? Did you understand to partner with us? Are you going to have the faith, the courage to align with yourself with the incomplete, unknown, uncertainty, had no resources, start with nothing, from no food, no money, nothing, to where you are? Do you trust the process? Are you gonna go into that uncertainty, think outside of the box, being resourceful, focusing on what is necessary for you to change your life? When we let go, we make space for something greater to unfold, something our plans could never have predicted. And this is so freaking true. It's like planting a seed. We can water it and tend to it, but won't and can't force it to bloom before its time. There is wisdom in waiting. There is beauty in uncertainty. Every detour is preparing you for something deeper, even if you can't see it yet. And I took detours in my life. I have learned so many skill sets in my entire life. I'm amazed by some of the stuff I have done in the past, and you could not even do it today. And it's amazing that all of those skill sets, I'm still using it today. And those skill sets really elevate where I'm at. And I continue to learn a lot of different skill sets. I continue to move into the realm of I'm becoming a walking encyclopedia and I'm a walking skill set from cooking. And I am not a chef. I am not a cook. But I do cook and do dinners, and I do things where I'm at that people have the experience of culinary food. But I'm not a chef, and I don't pretend to be one. But the love I have to do it is awesome. Becoming a master gardener. This summer has been amazing, actually. When you trust God and you talk to the plants every day, you will be surprised how the blooms here were amazing. The flower, even the wild one everywhere. It was amazing to see that. And the year before, it wasn't like that at all. It's amazing when you see transformation and changes you made. And even today, as I'm recording this, I had somebody who told me that the place where I'm managing right now is amazing, and the people are so blessed to see the transformation, and they are like in awe compared to 6 months ago, compared to a year ago. It's amazing to see all of this. It's amazing to realize that, working on projects had nothing to do with what I'm talking about. It's totally different. I'm planning, I'm doing things, blah, 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 leading those projects. And it's like, yeah, those accumulations happen because of what I've done in the past, understanding how you build a website, how you run companies, how you run projects, how you do this, you do that. All of those knowledge, you realize everything you've got and some more. That is amazing. That is absolutely beautiful. So when fear rises, when you feel lost or behind, pause and whisper, I am being guided even here. That simple belief changes everything. You can say it again. I am being guided even here. That is what we've got. So, to take a deep, we're going to close, and I want to do a closing reflection actually. So, take a deep breath with me now. Inhale, surrender, exhale, control. Inhale, freedom, exhale, control. You surrender when you inhale, and you exhale the control, any control you've got. Imagine yourself standing beside a flowing river. You place your plans, your worries, your questions in the water and watch them drifting away. You don't need to chase them. You simply trust the current. This is what it means to let life unfold, to stop fighting what is and start flowing with what wants to be. You are not lost. You are being led. May you find peace not in knowing where you're going, but trusting that you will arrive exactly where you are meant to be. Yes, this is where the key is. Let the process unfold. Have faith in you. Have faith in God, or whomever you call it, destiny, whatever. Have faith in the process. And I can guarantee you're going to be guided somewhere, and you're going to learn to be more flexible in your life. And that will change your outer condition. That will change how you see life. When you start to becoming more flexible, and I know it's a royal pain on the rear end when you think about it. I don't want to change. I want to know. Well, you could if you wanted to, but at the end of the day, have faith. The key in there is release and surrender and go with the flow. That doesn't mean I give up everything. It means I'm going to adapt to the situation, and I'm going to have faith that everything will unfold the way it's supposed to be. When you start to observe this and see how far you go with that, you'll be amazed, and it will change the way you see things, and this is where life transforms. So, guys, surrender, let go of the control. All my love, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Overthinkers podcast. Overthinkers. Overthinkers podcast.